Hello and welcome to Lynchburg Live. I'm your host, Linda Smith. As concerns continue to grow about depleting our planet's resources, green building has become an industry that adopts and encourages environmentally sustainable techniques. My guest tonight is Scott Elliott, founder and president of Custom Structures Incorporated, a business that supports and encourages green building in the Lynchburg area. Scott, welcome to Lynchburg Live.
Well, thank you for having me, Linda.
Can you tell us a little bit about Custom Structures, where you are?
We're a company that started in 2003. We're architects and general contractors under one roof, and just environmentally friendly people to deal with.
So everything, if I were building a house and came to you, everything would be right there under one roof. I wouldn't have to go and seek out an architect or builder or whatever.
We try to, back in '03 when we established our company, we are a true architectural design and build company, and we wanted people such as what you're saying that have ideas and actually come to us and let us take those ideas and actually make them reality for them.
In researching this show, I read that you never duplicate a structure. Like if you're building a house for somebody, they're not going to drive 2 miles down the road to a subdivision and see 3 more of them.
That is totally correct. That is something that we made a commitment from day one on with our clients that, if they're believing in us to make their project a success, then we're going to stand by our belief and make sure that we only have one original home. And that's really the whole reason why we started Custom Structures.
I think that's wonderful. And I was going to ask you what your motivation was in starting the business, but that's part of it.
It is, and I'll even stem back to my childhood, and that's what I love about my job is this is my passion. Design is my passion, and actual construction is my passion. It all stems back from my childhood when both of my grandfathers, one was a builder. He built about 16 homes before the Great Depression, and my other grandfather was a striving artist who my mother has a lot of his artwork now. But kind of what those guys meant to me growing up and what they still mean to me, it feels good to have created a company that kind of binds the two together.
I think that's wonderful. Now, were they here in Lynchburg too,
They
or
were.
in the area? That's great.
In the area.
So you started kind of small.
Did.
And now you have a huge company that does so many different things.
I truly believe, I think a lot of our success is our people. We are 27 people strong now, and we have multiple crews that of course are set up more for different types of projects. So, but yeah, started out as a single person and learned the hard way.
But I think that gives you really good basics.
It does. It lets you appreciate things as they do grow.
Right, and
Be
this
cautious.
cookie cutter building that people are doing, and my husband works for the power company, and he says he goes to put power in houses, and people will come in and put a whole kitchen full of cabinets up like in 3 hours.
Right.
And to me that just does not take pride or anything in the actual doing of the job.
Well, and down to, like you said, the pride of the project, but also the type of materials that are being used. There's so many products out there that are they're not good products. They're not good for the environment. They're not good for landfills because their shelf life is not that of quality product. And like you were saying before with the cookie cutter, we strive to build using materials and the methods of basically, if you look back in the 1900s, early 1900s, 1800s, the way buildings were built back then, they were built with professionalism. They were built with passion. They were built with details. That's something that is really lacking nowadays. And but we don't have that same emphasis nowadays. And that's one thing I would love to see come back.
as long as there are people like you who are out there doing this kind of building, I think that if people really want quality, that they will come to you. Because to me, quality is far better than quantity.
Quality costs more money.
Yep.
It's a known fact, but it's something that you build something to last a lifetime, and that's what most of our clients want. They're trusting us to design and build, or just build or design, a home that they're going to live in the rest of their lives, and instead of a home that's going to start dilapidating in 15 to 20 years.
Right.
It shouldn't be that way.
So what do you do? What is your job as CEO, I guess, right
I
now?
wear many hats. I still am a president that likes to get out there. I work in the office a lot on a day-to-day basis, but I still like to get out in the field. And a lot of projects, I'll pick a certain task and see it through, just to get out of the office a little bit. But I'm there for whoever needs my help. And we're a team, and I emphasize very, very heavily on team. So,
I think
during
that's
any day, I could be doing a number of different things, but it's fun.
All right, you recently had some homes in the Parade of Homes.
We had one home, actually a house that we built over in the preserve at Oakwood, and very, very proud of that house, and have had a lot of people tour through it, and we're actually having an open house on the 15th of July. It'll be our last open house where people could come out and meet the dream team, people who, of course, were part of the design.
Right.
But that house is very special to us because what the developers wanted to accomplish over at the preserve at Oakwood was to bring old Rivermont back, and we took that very serious, and I think we did pretty good on it. But it's a 1920s replica, cottage style, and went back to a lot of the old techniques, what you would see back in the 20s, and materials.
I've seen the pictures. It's a beautiful house. It really is. Now, you do commercial and residential,
We do.
and you've also got a section called Next Generation Homes.
We do.
You want to tell me about those?
Next Generation is homes that we actually designed. Basically, they are pre-designed homes and really geared for first-time home buyers. People, we're trying to create a niche of green building, which is very important to us, but also give people an option of buying a first-time home with quality in it. With, let's face it, a lot of these first-time home buyers, we've all been there, and the thing that sticks out in my mind the most when we were having our first child was indoor, air quality, and going a step further with the type of products we put into these homes, all while maintaining the quality. But they are pre-designed homes to where somebody can come over to our office and select from multiple different plans, make tweaks however they want to. And those houses they will be repeated, but we have set rules, because that drives me crazy too, going through neighborhoods and seeing the same house repeated over and over. But these homes, depending on how the bird flies, we've got a 2-mile to where you cannot have a home that close before you see another home, or you can have only one per neighborhood. So, we kind of set it up that way to where we would not see duplicates of the same homes.
I
But we
think
just do that with Next Generation.
homeowners appreciate that, and appreciate that you go to that extra trouble to make sure that they're not opening their door and seeing
Sure.
their home next door to them.
Well, and the way you can accomplish that fairly easy is you could use literally the same floor plan and put a different facade on that house and make it look totally different. So we've done that a few times, and it's worked out really well.
For our audience who may not be, and I find it hard to believe anybody wouldn't be, but who may not be familiar with the term green building, can you just sort of tell the audience what that is?
Green, sustainable building, basically what it means to me is local and regional products. It's building smarter, if you want to say. you know, we all need to be better stewards of our environment. It's taking that role in literally finding the latest products that have recycled content in them, or local, regional, something that's not being shipped out of country.
Right.
And, you know, even down to products, you know, where you're not wasting that diesel fuel to have something shipped overseas just to save a few dollars. So.
I think that's great. Now, does it incorporate solar energy and other techniques like geothermal?
It does. It's a huge mass of different things. Geothermal, the solar, split mini systems, reverse chill water systems, hot water, you know, heat pump hot water heaters, on-demand hot water heaters. A lot of it is technique in how you build the home to where you're making the envelope of the home tighter to where you don't have to have so much tonnage on the mechanical side. So it's a lot of different offsets and things like that that makes a home a green home.
You know, I think a lot of people aren't aware that the way you place a structure on your lot makes a big difference
Very important.
as far as energy conservation goes.
Site orientation is a huge thing with green homes, taking advantage of southern exposure and decreasing the amount of glazing on the northern. You know, the one house in particular we built a while back, we put actual Bermuda shutters on the exterior and actually preventing that heat from transmitting into the home, to where a lot of people have mini blinds or shutters inside their home. Problem is with that, the heat's already come through the glazing at that point. But with using those type of shutters, just as an example, winter months where we have the lowest amount of sun, they can still take advantage of getting that heat gain in the house and prevent it, of course, in the summer.
You know, I think really, if I had time to research it, I think it's such a fascinating way to build. I even read that how you dispose of construction waste is entirely different. And it also said that you have very little construction waste.
That is something that we actually patented, a roll-off container system when we were building Home Out in Forest, area's first Lead for Home project that we were proud to be doing. We actually came up with the idea because part of LEED requires the general contractor to actually basically create a chain of custody to where every material that entered that job or came to that job, you actually have to prove and show where the product ended up. If it wasn't used in the home or the structure, you have to actually tell where it went and how you disposed of it. So, you know, that container system was very fun to do, and that's something that we've tried to do on every project. I can't say we're doing it 100% because we're not at that stage yet. But as we get more of these containers into the marketplace, we plan to be 100% recycling.
You know, we've visited houses that were built like a year before and heard the owners say, you know, stuff is coming up from the ground and getting caught in my lawnmower. And I guess that's because people just dump it and cover it. Is that legal?
It's not legal. There is certain materials that I have heard over the years that certain people have dumped into the ground, paint cans and things like that, and there's a place for all of that stuff. You know, it's sad to say that in C&D world, construction and demolition, over 50% of our landfills are waste from construction sites. And we were doing a seminar over at our office with Central Virginia Sustainable Network probably 2 years ago, and that's one of the questions I asked. It was actually a very humbling day because we had about 15 general contractors in there, all to be in the same room with the same objective. And I asked a question to them, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys can go around here and if the question's asked, how many houses, how many structures have you built since you've been in business? and all of them would know that number. And now, then I ask them the question, think of how much debris that you created off of building all of those. And just really makes you think about how we do need to be more responsible.
Yeah, it really does. So what would you say are the pros and cons for green building?
I really don't see any cons in it. You know, the homes we have built, I would say range from 7 to 10% in increase versus conventional homes. And like I said, a lot of it is trade-off, where you're putting more insulation into a home, in a green home, you're actually deducting the amount of mechanical tonnage that you require versus a conventional home. So it's a lot of trade-offs like that. And it really only starts to increase if people want to go more into solar with encapsulated tube systems, or doing radiant floor systems, geothermal, things like that. So I think there's a lot of pros to it.
I'm just guessing that when you build green, that initially it costs you a little bit more.
It does.
But in the long run, you're going to get that money back. How does that work?
When people come to us, I usually tell them, you know, if they're looking at, I would say 75% of our clients come in and they're very interested in green options. And although we might not build them exactly the most high efficiency green rated home, we definitely put in as many of those things as possibly that we can. But what I tell them is find out first, how long are they planning on living in this home or in this office building? You know, how long will they be in there? And really dictate what type of systems we choose for that home. A lot of our clients are retiring. A lot of our clients this is their dream home they're building.
Right.
So we take that very serious on selecting the right amount of products. And you know, most of the products out there, the payback's within 10 years. So it is more money now, but they're going to be saving.
But over the
overall.
long run, yeah. And you know, I think that's another beauty of green building.
Mm-hmm.
In 2010, you built the Eco House.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell me about that? I think that's pretty fascinating.
That was a 1,710 square foot home that we built on a slab with hydronic flooring, radiant flooring. And the primary source of heat for that home was actually the radiant tubing running through the floor that ran off of solar evacuated tubes that were placed on the house, of course, in the southern exposure. And but that house was, I think I had said before, it was the first of its kind, being a LEED for home. One of the most proud things I think we accomplished on that job was a standard 1,800 to 2,000 square foot home. We would have had 5 to 6 40-yard containers of waste go away from that project. And we found a home for so many products, we literally only had 2¼ yards of waste go to the landfill. And that was a great accomplishment.
Yeah, that really is.
It was an ordeal because, you know, you're trying to introduce something to your subs, you know, to think outside of the box. Just don't throw aluminum can into the trash. You know, place it in a separate bin. And you know, so it was a hurdle, to say the least. But I think as we get more into recycling our projects, our subs will be more open to that. That house was, it was funny because we just had these bad storms the other week, and I received an email from the person, the client that lives in that house that bought it, and they said that they had lost power on Friday. They had received power back on Tuesday, and Tuesday, before they received power, the hottest it went up in that house was 82 degrees.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so it just shows how tight the house was.
So the house is not open for the general public to go through anymore?
No, I mean, you know, I've called on that homeowner a few times, and we really had people that were doing a story on the home or really wanted to find out more about it. And they're great people. They're a great couple, and so I would say under certain circumstances, people could tour it, but I would have to definitely get permission from them.
Scott, you've brought some pictures, and Phil, if you'll put the pictures up on the screen, we'll get Scott to tell us what they are.
This is a home that we built in 2004 for a client, around 9,400 square feet. We were looking, when we designed this home, we were trying to mimic old Bedford farmhouse, but also this house has excellent views of 4 different mountain tops, one being sharp and flat top. And so the left side of the home is designed more for all the entertainment area. And
it's a beautiful house.
so a very eclectic home.
Yeah.
This is a picture of the patented roll-off container
Cool.
that we developed, and we have been fairly successful on getting those out to the marketplace.
So you fill up that container and then you just take it and.
Right, and the great thing about it, you can see First Piedmont. Those guys have been great with working with us with these prototypes and actual units that we have that Custom Structures owns for our job sites, you know, hauling them around and things like that. But yeah, instead of this, once this container is filled up on the job site, instead of it going to the landfill, it actually goes to Sunoco Recycling in Madison Heights.
That's just wonderful.
So it'll have a new home.
Great.
This is the inside of one of our commercial projects that we built probably 3 years ago for Doctors Newman and Blackstock and Associates on Timberlake Road. Another fun project. You see those guys' commercials?
Yes, I
They're
have seen
just
their
like that
commercials.
in real life. So we're actually having the pleasure to work with them again on designing and building a new facility in Roanoke right now.
That's cool.
So, this is an exterior photo of that project using EIFS and a lot of curtain wall glazing, and of course matching up brick to match existing. This was a renovation addition project. This is General Care Animal Hospital. It's around a 10,000 square foot animal hospital that we built for Dr. Stevens out on 811 in Forest. Another great project, and actually that's a pretty green structure itself. We used the ICF walls and a lot of 4-bow flooring, which is made out of linseed oil.
Great.
So this is a project that very excited about that we built a couple years ago. This was actually a design and build. It started out as a replica of Sandusky in Lynchburg. We actually turned it up about 50 years in the final design to 1850s Greek revival. But the great thing about this, and I commend the owners, they actually wanted everything authentic, even down to the turn-tin metal, the wood TDL windows, and the cypress siding on the home.
And you use recycled materials.
We did, and actually that home has 2x8 exterior walls that we did a flash and bat, so it's a very efficient home. This is one of the interior shots of the home we just completed over at the Preserve at Oakwood. I would love people to come see us on the 15th of July. We'd love to give tours.
What
Moyen
time?
did the interiors.
What time?
It's from 1 to 4.
Okay.
So
Can people find out about that on your website?
they can.
Okay.
We're actually going to have something up for that, absolutely. This is the house we've been talking quite a bit about this evening with the house we built in 2010, the Eco House. We had it open to the public for 6 months and really wanted to teach people,
Right.
you know, what green was about and what type of products they can find local and regional. And you can see the Bermuda shutters there,
Yeah, that's
how
wonderful.
they act. This is also a smart house where you can communicate to it by PDA.
I like
Turn
that.
certain lights off and on, and mechanical systems. And this was one of the cutouts we had in the actual laundry room of that home, showing the hydronic radiant flooring, the tube system, to let people see firsthand what the product looks like and how it's installed. So this is another eco home we did. This is actually the area's first Earthcraft Platinum home, which we built over in Concord. And that house, we used a closed cell insulation on the whole perimeter, and it's a very tight house. Electric bills around the $60 a month range.
Right, as we show the rest of these pictures, I'm going to ask you, because we're down to about 2 minutes to go, if you can tell us how to access your website.
You can reach us at customstructuresinc.com.
Okay.
You can reach us. We're located on Graves Mill Road in Lynchburg, or you can call us at 434-832-0040.
That's what I was going to say, and you're also in the phone book. Phil, I think we're going to have to stop with the pictures simply because we're running out of time. Scott, I thank you so much for coming on the
Thank you
show.
for having me.
I really admire what you do and the fact that you want to do this right, and that quality is the thing that is the most important to you and your business.
I picked this trade for a reason, and it's where my passion is. So.
Well, I do appreciate
Love
it. I'm hoping maybe Phil and I can come out and tour one of your houses.
Please.
All right. Thank you
Love
so
it.
much.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show and will consider a green approach to your next building project. My next show will feature a small local science fiction club that supports many charities with an annual charity auction that we will be talking about on the show. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.